Yo, what's good guys? This is Chris from WearTesters.com. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel, the only sneaker channel here on YouTube where you come for the review on these pretty things right here and stay for the conversation afterwards. At least I hope so. And this guy right here is the Jordan Legacy 312. Has nothing to do with Don C, just like last time. Now I know that the original colorways of the shoe were tied heavily with Don C, even the marketing was. That was a very tricky thing that Jordan Brand decided to do. However, Don C did not design this shoe. He designed a couple of colorways and those are the ones that are labeled Don C on the tongue tag. Everything else though is coming directly from Jordan Brand. Just don't tell him that I told you, okay? Cool. But this guy right here, I find to be better than the high tops. And as far as visuals go, I know that that's, you know, up to everybody. Visually, everything is subjective. Some people do like the high tops more than the lows. I am the exact opposite. Lows are my jam. I fuck with these heavy. I have already worn these because I could not wait to do the review. So I've been wearing them for like 2 or 3 days now. And I just think that these are fire. All right, guys. So these right here obviously play heavily on the black and red or Bred theme. Now, what I like the most about this guy right here is that they actually use very similar leather to the Bred ones right here back from 2016. Now it's not identical. This guy right here is a little bit brighter. These guys right here are a little bit softer, but the leather on the toe box right here is super nice nonetheless. It's super buttery. The leather that you see on the Rand though, the black leather is not. This is not good leather, at least in my opinion. However, the swoosh leather on these guys also very nice. So hopefully you guys can see that right there, but you can see the grain behind the material and then you can see the coating, the texture that they put on there as well. I love that the swoosh is not connecting all the way to the back. I like that it's its own little thing right there. It plays a little bit differently than the traditional Air Jordan 1, which clearly goes all the way to the back. But I like that they kind of like look a little bit like the Tinker 3s because this back half of the shoe clearly is inspired by the 3, whereas this one is more of the Air Jordan 1 with the Air Trainer strap right there. Now the tongues are similar. These guys are nylon. However, the Wings logo makes an appearance instead of the classic Nike Air, and this I absolutely love. We do not see the Wings logo enough in my opinion. The rest of the shoe obviously is heavily inspired by the Air Jordan 3, and not just any Air Jordan 3, one of the best of all time, the Black and Cements. Now we obviously do not have the Nike Air logo on the rear because this is clearly not an original shoe, but to me it does not matter. I think that these still look great. And then you can see the differences within the elephant print themselves. This guy right here looks a little bit newer. It's a little bit bolder. It's got heavy, thick black lines. This guy is almost kind of got a gray look to it, a little bit more of a retro or vintage feel. Collar right here though has the same material, same look as well, same soft synthetics, perforated of course, because anything else would be uncivilized. Shout out to Foamy. Now the lining's not from the Air Jordan 3. Air Jordan 3's got kind of a fuzzy lining. This guy right here has the Air Jordan 1 lining, a little bit coarse, a little bit rough, but I have been wearing these things with no-shows, quarter cuts, as well as crew socks, and they haven't had any issues for me as far as like chafing and all that stuff. And something that I will note is that the look of this shoe is so like old school looking to me that it just makes me want to bust out some white tube socks and pull them or scrunch them all the way down just like MJ used to do. Now the tooling is from the Air Jordan 3, just like it was on the original 312s. We have a polyurethane midsole, visible air sole unit in the heel, encapsulated air sole unit in the forefoot, traditional Air Jordan 3 outsoles and all that stuff. These things again have been worn. They've been getting a lot of love lately. I just really like these. I love the way that they turned out. I think they are fantastic. In terms of sizing, they fit a little bit big in my opinion. I went true to size, and after wearing them and breaking them in, they do feel like I could have gone down half a size. They got a little bit of extra room in the toe. So if you like that, go true to size. If you want a nice snug fit though, go down half a size. A lot of people have been asking me if these things are hoopable. Honestly, like anything is technically hoopable. You can play basketball in anything. Should you? That's another story. I don't feel that the heel lockdown is good enough for basketball, nor would I want to play in this midsole. But if you did want to play in that midsole for whatever reason, I just don't think that the rear lockdown is going to be good enough in my opinion. I feel that they could have used one extra eyelet. I would have loved to have seen the Air Jordan 3 eyelet right at the top right there just for some additional rear, you know, lockdown and reinforcement. And on top of that, these low tops right here are cut similarly to the Air Jordan 1 low OG, which is just a super scooped low top. So they're high in the back, go super low in the front, which I think looks great casually. But again, it's not something that I would really want to play in. Not that I can play because my calf is still torn. So there's that also. But that pretty much takes care of it for these guys right here. If you are interested in grabbing a pair, I grabbed mine from Phenom. If you're local here in the Sacramento area, head over. It's first come, first serve. If you're not local, I'm going to leave their information in the description box below. You can call them up. They do phone orders. I don't know how many of these are left. I have been posting these on Instagram already prior to this review, and a lot of people have been buying them. So they've been flying off shelves. I think it's this colorway. This colorway is fantastic. The materials on this particular colorway are awesome. I do not think that we're gonna see this on future colorways. I think that they're gonna really cheapen it out on the rest of the colors, like they had on the previous release. The original few handful or whatever were pretty nice, and then they just been whoring them out basically in crappy materials and all that stuff. So don't expect much from future colorways. What I would love to see though with these guys right here is classic colorways on them. That's what I would do if I was in charge. I know that this might be the only classic color we see, but if I was in charge over at Jordan Brand, I would be mixing up with the Air Jordan 3 Katrina, with the Air Jordan 1 Chicago. I would love to see this same exact colorway, but instead of red, just turn everything to shadow gray. That to me would be fantastic. Leave the Nike right here on the strap red. That would be beautiful. But thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all the support. Sound off below and let us know what you guys think about these. What colorways would you love to see them in, especially if they're OG colorways? And do you like the high tops more than the low, or do you like the lows more than the highs? Sound off below, let us know. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for all the support. And until next time, guys, have a good one. It's hard to find help these days.
I'm the best help you've ever had. So speaking of hybrids, if you could have your dream Jordan hybrid, would this be it? Or what would you put together?
I don't know. I mean, I have no idea.
You're so imaginative.
Yeah, but I never think of that. When they present things, either I like it or I don't, you know? And this I like. One thing I would have changed though, the rendering for this, the original like artist rendering, or whoever like read that there was a 312 low, they had photoshopped the shoe. It legit looked just like this. So shout out to that guy. I don't know who he is or anything. The only difference is that he had this tongue on the shoe, and that to me was like, oh my God, those are sick. So I would have preferred the 3 tongue on this. I'm not hating on the nylon though, because nylon is super comfortable. It's just, I think that the gray, you know, popping out with the fan, because you know, these tongues are a lot bigger than these ones, with the red lining and stuff. I just think that looked dope. But otherwise though, I think that this is like a flawless execution of hybriding a shoe. Other than this panel still does bother me a little bit. So
you just would rather that be scrapped?
Oh yeah, like I would sit this a little bit lower. That way it's not quite as boxy, you know what I mean? Like shorten it down a little bit. This panel on the inside right there, that one doesn't bother me at all, but the outside one just looks really weird. So that's the only thing. I would have changed that and the tongue, but otherwise I just think that these look dope. These look so old school. That's what I really like. I like the old models, you know?
Yeah.
Like I love the 15s. I know you don't, but like I love the 15s. I love the 14s. I love the 13s, 11s, all that stuff. But there's something about that first, you know, 4, 5, 6, you know, from 1 through 6. Like there's something about those. I don't know what it is about them. They're so old. It's like when you look at a Nike Dunk or Air Force One, you know what I mean? It's got that flavor to it, that kind of, they all have similar looks to them, like that between the Air Jordan 1 Dunk and the Air Force.
Yeah.
But to me, I think that's dope. Like I just like the way that looks.
So you can't think of any 2 that you'd like to just see smashed together?
Yo, like it feels like they've done it all. I feel like that they've run out of ideas so hard that like the only thing left to do was to mash up shoes. You know? What I will say is that what I preferred that they did was when back in the day, like for this time frame, the early days of Jordan Brand, the Team 1, the Jumpman Pros, the Quicks, they looked like they were a derivative of the flagship, but not a knockoff of the flagship. You know what I'm saying? Like there was clearly like design language, but there wasn't straight up like, I'm gonna take this and put it on here. I'm gonna take the back of an Air Jordan 3 and I'm gonna put it on there. Like it wasn't like that. So that's what I do like. I like because it gives you a little bit of new with, obviously, like we're trying to connect the dots but not, you know, paint the whole picture. And this guy right here is a straight up just like cut and paste job.
Yes.
So, but that does take another level of creativity for design, because you can't just smash stuff together. I don't know if everybody on the internet has seen this, but there was a shoe that some guy wore. I don't remember where it was. I don't remember if it was at the Oscars or some other kind of premiere or something, but it was what was it? I think it was the Air Jordan 1 and the Air Jordan 11 or something like that. I can't remember. And it was like legit cut in half and put back together.
Wow.
Like one of each shoe. And it looked ridiculous. Like I thought that it was a fake. Like I thought that somebody photoshopped it, but it was somebody really did it and then wore it. And I don't even know how that would work. But that to me was horrendous and has absolutely no creativity behind it. It legitimately, you cut 2 shoes in half and you pasted them together. This, at least, you tried to make the designs or the lines flow. You know, like the paneling. Man, I just went into your frame right here. Movie magic. But the paneling from this shoe blends so seamlessly into this shoe, on this shoe, that other than that one weird panel, this is awesome. It's awesome. You know what I mean? And I know that people don't like this stuff. I get it. Like, people hate hybrids, but like I just always remember, we've been together for so long. You remember when I first saw the Dub Zero?
Yes.
And I loved those things. We were living up north. I never had a pair, but I wanted them so bad. For whatever reason, man, I always liked that stuff. I like being able to look at things and being like, oh, they took that from this or whatever. But I don't know what I would do for my own hybrid.
I think this shoe is a shoe that definitely looks better once you are wearing them.
Yeah, this guy, especially when they're choked up, like when they come in the box, the strap, the laces are taut, all that stuff, and they're in their little factory knot, they look kind of weird. They look really like disproportionate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when you loosen them up, you open the strap up, you really loosen the laces, you puff that tongue out just a little bit, and then you stick your foot in there.
He goes to his happy place.
One of them. So, yeah, the clean one.